Hi, everybody. Happy Monday. Calling to you from Glasgow this morning, but we have been basically in Liverpool all week. I'm going to tell you about all the things we finished up doing in Liverpool, ended up in the Lake District, came up to Glasgow. So here we go. So if you were following along from last week, you know that we were in Liverpool and did a lot of the things in Liverpool already, and we finished up there. So I'm going to tell you about a couple of things that we did. The first being I had to find a doctor. I needed to get a cortisone shot in my knee. My knee is absolutely blown out and it's been overplayed with. So I'm trying to rest. I missed some hikes, which I'll tell you about. But in the meantime, found that, got my cortisone shot, and then the next day we turned back to some of the things that Steve had seen on his 4-hour walking tour that I had missed. We did the Beatles. So we went and watched James Cordone's car karaoke with Paul McCartney again, and then went off and kind of recreated that. So we went to Penny Lane and saw where Paul signed the Penny Lane sign, went to the Penny Lane barbershop, got my hair cut, paid £12.50 to get my hair cut, and hear the stories of the ladies from when Paul came in and got his hair cut there. Also went to Paul McCartney's house. And then we went, after that, we ended up at the Cavern Club where the Beatles were discovered and listened to live music for about 4 hours. The musicians were fantastic. They were playing, kind of a medley of every fourth or fifth song was a Beatles song, and in between was music from the 60s and 70s. We adored it. Everybody in the crowd was singing along. Everybody was happy. Everybody having great moments and memories. It was just a great, great, great time. The Cavern Club, full of memorabilia, kind of like a mini Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, but just if you've been there, go again because they changed the memorabilia. Fantastic. Then we went to International Slave Museum. I had been there before when Kelly and I went to Liverpool about 4 or 5 years ago. I wanted to go back because there was a data set that I wanted to see if they had figured out how to display that data set better, and they had. So I'm going to roll some film here, and it shows the slave triangle of how many slaves were stolen out of Africa and how that contributed to the slave trade. There were 9 million over a 200-year period taken out of Africa. But what's interesting is the U.S. only had 3 to 4% of that. I find that fascinating considering how much that's part of our embedded racism and culture of the U.S., that it's only 3 to 4%, which doesn't diminish it by any means. Just I find that point interesting. So really enjoyed the Slave Museum. And then oh, by the way, the entire week we've been eating vegan food, so I'm going to pop in some pictures of that vegan food that we've enjoyed. Then we went to the Central Library, one of my favorite places in Liverpool. The library was bombed in the World War II, so they had to rebuild part of it. But the old part, which I'm going to roll film here too, is the Picton Room. And what's fascinating about this library, as you walk in, there's a long walkway. And on that walkway, there are titles of famous books that all of us know. And then in the titles, there's red letters. And if you do the anagram of the red letters, it gives you a clue to take you into the library and find this book called The Cyclops in the Woods, which I'm going to show you a cover of here. And it's what's nice about it. And then when you go in this room where the oak room is, where this book is, you also see a large volume of one of the Audubon. Audubon did a 4-volume series. One of the volumes is here in the library, and every day they show a page of the Audubon paintings, and they open up that, and you can go and look at that. So fascinating, love libraries. Then I hobbled onto the train, and we went to the Lake District, which is the hiking capital of England. Beautiful area. A lot of films have been filmed here. Beatrice Potter is from here. We went to her museum. We found where The Three Bears was written. We also went to Grasmere, where gingerbread was created. So even though Steve went for a hike, and I'll show you some of his pictures of his hike, I had to miss out and sit in my Airbnb and relax. But the next day we got on the bus and went and did all these things. So that was really nice. And then finally we finished up our week down in central England and loaded up the train and headed up to Glasgow. So here we are up in Glasgow. We're taking care of Jess for the week, a darling little border collie. All she wants to do is cuddle. It's great to be back with a dog again. And we'll be here for about 10 days or so, and then we head south. So that's been our week. I want to know from you, are you a city mouse or a country mouse? Beatrice Potter's famous for that. Also, if you know anything in Glasgow, tell us things to do in Glasgow. We're going to try to go see the Kelpie horses and maybe go on a whiskey tour and maybe get up to Loch Lomond. We'll see. We don't have a car, so we're trying to figure out the transportation situation. And I'm also got to find a chiropractor while I'm up here to finish up taking care of my knee. So give us a thumbs up, subscribe, let us know how you're doing, ask us questions, and we'll talk to you later.